It's interesting because I don't find myself to be offensive. I just think
everybody else does.
I know. That is correct. And I think the reason for that is because people don't like hearing the truth. And I think it's because
holy shit, man. If I hear one more person say anything about, oh, people just don't like me because I speak the truth. No, maybe, okay, check this out. Hey, people don't like you because you're a fucking idiot and you're hateful and nobody wants to be around you. All right, so when it comes to being a Christian and mixing that with politics, it can sometimes, like on paper, it should be a beautiful thing. It should be something that will build up people personally and be able to create policies and laws that should help people. They should be based in love and treating people with grace and at the same time holding people accountable. On paper, that's what it should be. But of course, as we see it being used now, that's only a way to try to marginalize and demonize people who don't fall in line. You know what I'm saying? And myself, I am a Christian man. I've been a Christian since 2009. I used to do youth pastoring. I used to do Christian music, the whole nine. I used to be that one when I was 21, 22 years old, walking around the workplace with the Bible in my back pocket. Like when I get into something, I get into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was that guy. But the one thing that slowly got me out of that world, that things that people hate about religious people, what drew me out of that was just the hate these Christians have for people. And it's supposed to be the opposite. And it's not like something you have to like really read into it and you know, look with a magnifying glass. No, like the past 8 years, it's like they don't care about that. And when it comes to that, I can't rock with people who hate other people. I don't care what excuse or how much of a Christian you think you are. If you're hating people for any reason, that's not going to work for me. You know, and as you probably clicked on this video, Candace Owens is the best example of an individual using the title, using the banner Christian or Christianity to cover up her hatefulness for other people, or her opportunists. She's trying to hide it under that. And that is not acceptable, because that's giving people like myself who actually do have a genuine love for people a bad name. So let's go ahead and take a listen. And this right here, God bless Nick Cannon, because he had a 43-minute conversation with Candace Owens, and he did that with so much patience, so much grace, even though that her answers were damn near dumb as hell. He looked at her and said, you know what, let me rephrase this. Let me say this in a way that you might understand. And she still dropped the ball. You know what I'm saying? And either she's that hateful of a person, or she's just, that's her business, so she can't sway from that, or a little bit of both. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Like I said, hopefully I can remember to post this in the description so you guys can watch the whole thing. We're just going to go over 3 main points that I found that was interesting and had those conversations. So this is the first part of it.
And scientism being the religion of science. Mm-hmm. But most people who rely and believe in science look at people who believe in God and spirituality as kooks and also slaves to, oh, you're just going to go with these traditional rituals that have been placed in books and theories that really are based off of allegories. I'd rather go based off of scientific evidence of things that have been proven. Yeah. What do you say to that?
I think that they probably should know that the Enlightenment was not enlightened. It was the darkening of mankind. The Dark Ages were not dark. They were actually an age of tremendous Christian enlightenment, and all of that stuff has been intentionally buried. Okay. And they are very much focused moving the Bible out of the classroom. It used to be taught, and they want you to believe in nothing other than what they tell you.
So a few things right there, like that throws a couple of red flags. One, if you don't know nothing about Christianity in its history, it has a pretty devastating, crucial, pretty bad history. Just look up any crusades between the 10th century and the 13th century, somewhere in between there. You can find plenty of these Christian crusades that killed hundreds of thousands of people. And a lot of them were innocent people. And they went out and stole from people, killed people, women and children. Now you tell me, once again, if you're taking a position of Christianity can't do no wrong, and this is what everybody needs to be to be serving, then you need to be able to even answer to that. And in my opinion, that was wrong. That was evil. That is not Christianity. That is a false representation of Christians. But she wants to, the Dark Ages weren't the Dark Ages. They were no. Once again, either she doesn't know or she's just making excuses and hoping people don't know about that. In the whole, they used to teach or read the Bible in schools. What do you call that? There you go. Indoctrination. So you're telling me it's okay to indoctrinate people on what you believe, but when it comes to science, oh my God, simple science, that's a no-no. They can't do that. But once again, we're talking about Candace Owens here. So I'm starting to become immune to the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I can't get all like, what? That's crazy. Like, no, you kind of got to accept that and expect it from a Candace Owens.
If you think, and I'll just give you just a perfect example. My children are not vaxxed. I am anti-vax, whatever name the science people are coming up with.
Right.
And it's just stunning to me that they were able to convince people that their babies are born wrong. Like, as soon as your baby comes out, science can fix it. Like, what do you mean? My baby just came out. You're talking about, well,
right.
They instantly need a Hep B vaccine. Wait a second, isn't hepatitis B, isn't that an STD? Yes, but they need this because, I'm like, this makes zero sense. You're just in the cult of science. It's stupid. The idea that God got it wrong, it's wild. And the funny thing is that the logic.
Jesus Christ. It's just so much. One who I done had 4 kids myself, okay? 2 grandkids. No one convinced me that my kids came out wrong and they needed to be fixed by science. Who is saying that? And if people believe that, there are a small portion of individuals in the world. So my guess is she's trying to take the small group of people who might believe that. Okay, got you. You can find anybody on TikTok, trust me. And trying to label this as everybody who's not Christian. No, Candace, stop being disingenuous because you're making no sense. But okay, let's continue.
That they will apply to themselves for listening to science, they wouldn't even apply it to an animal. Like, if they were suddenly like, every lion that's born or every lion that's born, we have to intervene and do something, PETA would be outside tomorrow freaking out, like, leave them naturally in their, but us, forget it. They legitimately believe that vaccines are keeping their babies alive from the second they come out. That's scientism. That's a cult, right? You are part of a cult and a religion, and you don't understand the science of it at all. If I debate, when I say people call me an anti-vaxxer, I invite them on my show. They never come.
Well, one, who are you inviting? Because trust me, if you invited someone like a Neil deGrasse Tyson, you are going to fall into comparison to that man's knowledge and understanding of anything at that point. So once again, you inviting weirdos off of TikTok to have a debate with you is nonsense. Why don't you actually find real life certified people who know what they're talking about? And I guarantee you, it's not going to go down the way you think it is. You see what I'm saying? So once again, no one, at least with a functioning brain is thinking that science is the only thing keeping babies alive? Who is saying that? No sane person. The dude on the corner, the homeless guy, maybe, but I don't even think he's that crazy. But once again, let's let her finish.
The doctors, they never come. I'm like, I know how you get paid. I know every child is a check for you if they go through this system and they keep it, and it's all being funded by Big Pharma. And it is my belief that all of these pollutions, again, because I know that the spirit is real, that all of it is to pull you further away from what would actually be a very natural recognition within yourself. Like you would feel that normally, you would feel this spiritual draw, the spiritual incline. They've lied to you. COVID, you should apply that logic and know that that system of lying was easier when there was no independent media.
Yeah, there's brainwashing. I believe you even spoke of like psychological terrorism.
It is.
That where if they're constantly trying to scare us into control, which I don't disagree on that, but I don't think there's this ultimate puppet master or this group of I've looked for the group. I want to know who these guys are that are so rich and powerful that they pass it on to their, their offspring and their bloodlines, and they're all keeping the darkness in the world going. I can't find that physical group.
Now, that's what Nick Cannon just said, and once again, God bless his heart for just, hey, let me just try to break this down to you, okay? People, organizations, they do have their own agenda. Hey, Candace Owens, you yourself have your own agenda. I have my own agenda. People group up together, they create their own agenda, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. But where's this secret society that's controlling all the evil throughout all the world? That's what we want to know. Because when you keep blaming the secret society, to me, it feels like you just don't have enough information. So you have to create this boogeyman. And if you can't prove it on who it is, I need names, first, last name, government names, and I need proof. But if you don't have that, that's literally a conspiracy. You can't, it can't be true and a conspiracy at the same time. That doesn't work. But let's listen.
I'm telling you that the CIA is a part of a group and a global conspiracy to enslave mankind. So let's just go small picture here. The CIA, definitively. Okay, definitively is a part of the small group of people that are controlling.
So
things,
and the CIA technically is bipartisan, right?
They're not bipartisan. That's the whole point. That they are not Democrat or Republican. This is like the gang. This is the gang that won. And you know what he said before he got shot in Dallas next to his wife as he was going down the street that day? JFK said he was going to scatter the CIA into a million pieces because it was corrupt. And then unfortunately, he was involved in an accident.
Once again, it's been other reasons or speculations on why he was assassinated. Some people could say because he was giving too much into the civil rights movement with Martin Luther King and a lot of the other activists that were meeting with him on almost a weekly basis. Trust me, I know I've read a lot of these accounts. There's been people that said that he was assassinated for that. Assassination for I forget what wars was going on, but he was opposing whatever situation was going on globally, and he got assassinated for that. So once again, Candace, I want to see the proof, but you can't just say something and just say it's true. That's not how that works, but okay, let's continue. Jesus Christ. Whew. Man, I'm glad I'm doing this video last because I would lose my shit way too quick. Let's go ahead right here.
I'm glad you brought that up. And the overarching, I believe either you said something like this in the past, but I know I'm paraphrasing here that we probably believe the same thing, that ignorance, fear, and confusion is the devil's dominion. In that sense, so that's where we're easily controlled when we don't know, when we're scared, or when we're confused. And a lot of what I hear you saying is that it's not rooted in what we would deem as factual. Like you're an avid reader like me. Like I'll read anything and try to understand it, but it's also like, all right, well, show me the evidence, which normally is like science, of that there are people controlling us through our music. Now, as a faith, based individual and someone I truly believe in spiritual warfare, I at least for my own psyche, I can say, okay, I see what's happening in black music and in hip hop. I don't think there's a secret meeting going on that, and I've even heard about the secret meeting. I'm like, why? I want to know who was in those meetings that they were saying, I need you to say all of the horrible things about black men and black women. I need you to put satanic influences into songs and signs and symbolism. Like, to me, that is an energy that, or a spirit that can come upon people to make you want to do that, especially based off of their circumstances. If all I know is pain, strife, anger, hate, I'm gonna now, put that back out or regurgitate that to my own community. And that in itself is a cycle of darkness and low frequency that we can be removed from. But to say that there's like these secret people coming in and telling us.
I don't think there's.
Now, once again, the way that he took his time to explain that, amazing. You know what I'm saying? Because someone would have, like myself, like, hey, are we like fucking stupid here? Are you gonna continue to waste my time with these bullshit ass answers that you have no proof of? But he took his time, hey, God, and watch her just still give nonsense after nonsense of a response.
Secret. I don't think they're secret at all. And there have been multiple artists that have spoken out and said that producers have encouraged them to.
But yeah, that's an individual.
But is that not to believe them?
That's an individual. So
sure,
because like I said, I can find the devil, and I can find the devil in gospel music if I wanted to. But I can also say, I can find the God, I can find the good in every aspect, whether it's Hollywood or not. Like, there's multiple things where if we even understand what entertainment was designed for, it ultimately is to relieve us of the stresses that everyday life brings upon us.
Right.
So again, you operate each and every day in a space of like I'm on the front lines and I'm literally trying to help people understand and get clarity and hear the truth. But when that becomes confusing or it becomes rhetoric, and now I just see people with great brilliance just arguing back and forth about things that ultimately are not creating any gain for either one of the individuals, except for maybe ego to say, oh, I was right, or oh, I read this. Like, knowing your position and knowing what you can offer to the world, how do you differentiate between like, all right, I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna do nothing but speak, against, the trans community, or I'm gonna speak against Black Lives Matter, or whatever that at the moment where you can say, clearly you're brilliant enough to be like, all right, I don't have to go out there with my sword swinging. I can take a softer approach. I can accept. I can love everyone, give everyone an opportunity, and still get the same message across. Because, like you just said, goodness is ultimately going to be the one that prevail if you truly believe that.
Yeah, well, goodness prevails when good speaks out. We can't just sit back and do nothing when we see it, and we have to call it like we see it.
You're gonna be like Peter and just go cut everybody's ear off.
Yeah, I'm not even.
but Jesus was like, Peter, fall back, give my man his ear because he needs to hear this process.
I think.
See, even with that example, she still can't say, you know what, you're right. Or even she doesn't even have to even say you're right. Just be like, you know what, I probably do out there be going out there a little too crazy, a little too heavy handed, and yeah, like anything. But she's going to double, even triple down on her nonsense. Like she can't take any criticism, even if it's coming literally out of the Bible. If someone like Nick Cannon is trying to give you scripture or give you examples out of the Bible that you claim to live and know and love, and your only response is to act like you are just a non-Christian and just say, well, well, technically, well, this is what I'm supposed to do. No. Then once again, you're putting your ego over your beliefs. And if that's the case, stop using your belief as a shield of justifying what you're doing. That's not how that works. You embarrass people like me. So
it's interesting because I don't find myself to be offensive. I just think
everybody else does.
I know. That is correct. And I think the reason for that is because people don't like hearing the truth. And I think it's because
holy shit, man. If I hear one more person say anything about, oh, people just don't like me because I speak the truth. No, maybe, okay, check this out. Hey, people don't like you because you're a fucking idiot and you're hateful and nobody wants to be around you. Maybe that could be it. But stop lying to yourself. Oh, people don't like me. People think I'm disruptive because they don't like the truth. No, they don't like you. That's what it is. They might accept the truth if it came from a person that's actually living it and practicing it and now able to be in a position to teach it and to preach it. But Candace, that is not you by far. I don't understand who made you think that you're the person to be this, Christian warrior to sit here and preach and teach to people. You are not equipped to do that. No, stick to politics. At least that you can have some weird way to double down on what you believe. But no, not when it comes to something. If people took, a couple of hours to read and realize you do not fit the description of a Christ-like individual, don't think so.
They know it's the truth deep down and they have a visceral response.
And I would agree with you. I would definitely agree with you until we start jumping into these spaces that sound very conspiracy theory. I used to be that guy. I was that guy that was like, they're trying to tear us down. And then to your point, which you often speak of, that becomes a victim-like mentality. So my message started to often being like, yes, the world's fucked up. Yes, there's so many, there's more enemies than we know. But I know the God within me and the God that I serve is gonna have them all fall into my feet when I walk into the room, because I know the energy that I possess.
Yeah.
Now, once again, hey, if you guys want to watch the rest of this, go ahead. I highly suggest. But it's just weird how Candace is proclaiming to be this almighty Christian, and Nick Cannon, which I don't really know too much about him, like we all know he got a lot of kids, but I don't know his religious belief, how much, he's into it. I don't know. But it sounds like he's a little bit more mature than Candace will ever be when it comes to knowing who you are and in the lines that should not be crossed when it comes to talking and treating other people. Seems like he got a solid understanding of that. But Candace, once again, doesn't get that. And this right here is the best example. Let's go ahead. 39:56. There we go.
People's feelings don't matter to you whatsoever.
They're just not their mommies.
But again, because the point that I was making, we'll wrap this session up as well. But the only point that I was making, in someone who has such a strong faith, and is attempting to be as Christ-like as possible, to go waving that sword at everybody that doesn't agree with you. And because ultimately you're hurting their feelings. They're crying. There's an adverse reaction to what you're saying because it hurts them in their well-being. You're speaking to some people that's all they know. That's all they are. Now, if I'm really trying to operate on the highest frequency, I'm like, I'm going to let you do you. Unless you come into my space with something that will then harm me, who am I to judge what you do with your life, especially if I'm attempting to be the one that's saying, hey, I am a light. Let my reflection shine to you, so then maybe we can have discourse or whatever. But if I'm out there spewing things at a community, then
I'm not spewing things at a community.
Once again, she's the one that said Juneteenth is ghetto. And when she showed like the proof of it being ghetto, she showed one area at one time of kids being dumb as hell. And we know kids can be dumb as hell. So that means Juneteenth for black folks is ghetto. You're not spewing nothing? Give me a break. Once again, Nick Cannon deserves a fucking award for this, okay? I'm serious. The patience that he practiced is something I need to be at. Because I'm just watching it and I'm losing my mind. I can't imagine being in the middle of that conversation. You see what I'm saying? Like, he's literally trying to explain that when you're talking to people and they don't agree with you, sometimes it's better to just, tell them what, say some things. And if they reject it or they don't want to hear it, back up. And what you're supposed to do, check this out, is live what you believe through your life. And if you believe that they need what you got, they're going to see the contrast between their life and your life. And at some point, they're going to start asking questions. Hey, why do you X, Y, and Z? Or how are you able to A, B, and C? And then you can share what you need to share. But going out there acting like you're better than everybody else, you're going to turn everybody. You're going to even turn own Christian people off. Because what you're saying is ridiculous, and how you're saying it is even more ridiculous. But she doesn't care. She has one job, and that's to make money off of demonizing and marginalizing everybody else.
I get asked a question and I answer it. And that's the wildest part. People will literally ask me what I think, like Don Lemon did.
Yeah,
and
I saw
your
reaction. But
and then
that
people,
wasn't.
oh my gosh, I can't believe she has the audacity to say this stuff. Yeah.
But I don't think, because you said you believed he was sinning based off of
his homosexual marriage. He is sinning.
But everybody's sinning. You if you eat some bacon today, you sinning. Like,
to be very clear, he then raised the point that everybody sins. I said, yes, that wasn't the question that was asked of me.
So to me, that exchange, like, I watched the whole thing. That was probably one of the softer exchanges that you guys had. So, but to that point, you're fearless. You speak your truth unapologetically. But there has to be, we see you clearly don't give a fuck about what other people say about you, but knowing that you want this better place for your children, it has to lead with some sort of compassion for other people's feelings and how they feel.
No. You cannot feel compassion for lies, especially because they have become what they're doing now is they're wielding compassion as a sword to pass through everything that they want done. And like I said, you were going to blink, and compassion is going to end up with minor attracted peoples. Compassion is going to mean we can no longer call them pedophiles. That is what is going to happen. It is what is happening.
Can't let that happen.
We are.
Oh my God. First off, once again, this has been said way before I've even heard Candace say this. And I can just believe this was being said before I was even born. And I'm 37 years old. I'm pretty sure people have been saying this same lie over and like all of a sudden, like, the whole world is gonna. No. Because there's not just Christians and evil people. There's even people who are not Christian that are decent human beings that don't believe pedophile should be, taking over the world. No, that's not going to happen. And you going out there is not making anything better. And who is out there championing that pedophiles should be roaming the earth and taking over the world? And the crazy thing, I just thought, okay, you support a guy who's been that there's been allegations of sexual assault of a minor, and then he becomes president, and now he's trying to recruit people who also have sexual assaults allegations of a minor, but you're supporting that person. God, hey, is it wrong for me to say that Candace Owens is not a Christian? Is that too far for me to believe, to want to say that? You know what I'm saying? Because in the Bible it says you will know them by their fruit. And unfortunately, I don't see any good fruits bearing from her tree. Hey, guess what? got a couple scriptures here. So just in case other people who are religious, or even Candace Owens herself is watching this, when it comes to Proverbs 15:1, says a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. Hey, that's straight out the Bible. When it comes to Ephesians 4:29, it says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. Once again, Candace Owens, I don't know what Bible you're reading, but you need to start reading. And then the last one, Proverbs 18:21. That's actually what I got tattooed on my neck right here. It says, the tongue has power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruits. Once again, what you say, how you approach people, your delivery is important, because you can either build people up or you can literally destroy them. And unfortunately, there's money for people like Candace Owens that want to destroy people because it's profitable. Hey, thank you guys for watching. Once again, I highly appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch my content. If you guys want to support me even more, go ahead, become a member. Check out the perks that I set aside for you, such as early access, one-on-one conversations with myself, and even cool emojis you can use in the comment section. Once again, I highly appreciate the future members and you guys even taking the time to watch the content. And like always, let's have that conversation.